Mr. Sorabjee, thank you so much indeed for joining us on Bloomberg Quint. My question to you is, the Supreme Court has dismissed the petition seeking an independent probe into the death of Justice Loya. What have you made of this verdict?
Well, I have not read the verdict in full, but from what I have heard, and my information is, the Supreme Court has taken the view that these were just allegations without any basis. You can't write PILs just for the purpose of publicity or for the purpose of serving some vested interests. PILs must be based on cogent, solid, concrete material. You can't file a PIL and just cast doubt on the integrity of judges, on their independence. That would be a very bad thing, and it's so good the Supreme Court has given this verdict to discourage the filing of such frivolous petitions.
So, Sorabjee, the court has also made some extremely strong statements and expressed their anguish about how particularly about the conduct of the petitioners, the counsel of the petitioners, and said unfounded allegations and aspersions have been made against the administrative committee. In your past experience, have you seen anything of this nature in the past?
Well, not to this extent, but the tendency now is to make unfounded allegations, which I find very distressing. You can't do that. You can't deter judges from discharging the judicial functions by making allegations not based on any solid material. Because after all, suggestion was that they are in effect doubting the correctness, integrity of the judges in effect. And that can't be allowed to be done unless, of course, there is no solid material on the basis of which you can do that. But here the Supreme Court found there was none. And to that extent, I think the Supreme Court is right in dismissing it. But I believe they didn't take contempt action against the petitioners just as well, so long as the message is gone. Message being, don't file frivolous PILs, which affects the due administration of justice. Don't cast aspersion on judges unless there is solid material to back it up. Because now it's become a fashion to file PIL, to make all kinds of allegations against judges, and that should be checked. And I think the Supreme Court judgment to that extent is a good judgment, will discourage filing of frivolous PILs.
Okay. I have one final question, sir. The other observation, and a fairly serious one at that, saying that this is a serious attempt to scandalize the court in the process of justice. Do you believe this sets a precedent for further PILs in the country?
Yeah, precedent meaning is a clear message that don't file such frivolous petitions, because the Supreme Court this time did not exercise the contempt power. But in future, if this is repeated, if such kind of PILs are filed, the Supreme Court may better exercise the contempt power. Because you are, in effect, you are scandalizing the judges. You are really deterring them from exercising their functions independently, fearlessly. And that should not happen. And to that extent, the Supreme Court judgment has done a good thing in giving a clear message in that direction.
Mr. Sorabjee, we leave it there. Thank you so much indeed for joining us on Bloomberg Quint.